The ceasefire brokered by Russia between Armenia and Azerbaijan to try and end a flare-up in fighting over the last 2 weeks has been breached within its first 24 hours. A BBC team in the disputed region of Nagorno-Karabakh says it's heard regular shelling from the direction of the front line, despite the ceasefire being in place. The region, which you can see here in red, is officially part of Azerbaijan, but it's been controlled by ethnic Armenians since the collapse of the Soviet Union. In Azerbaijan's second city, Ganja, which lies outside this region, at least 7 civilians in a residential area have been killed by rocket fire. Inside Nagorno-Karabakh, damage to the main city, Stepanakert, continues with air raid sirens sounding. This video is running on Armenian state media. Our international correspondent Orla Girin sent us this report from Azerbaijan.
Let me see his face, she begs, one last time. She's not alone in this desperate search. Let me see, says this woman. Is he from my family? May the Armenians die, she cries. Here's what's left of her neighbourhood in Ganja, Azerbaijan's second largest city. Far from the front line, but not far enough. This is just off the main street. No sign of military targets. We saw remnants of what Baku says was a ballistic missile. It's accusing Armenia of a war crime. Well, this was clearly a civilian target. Apartment blocks, flats where people were living. There's bedding and blankets and mattresses strewn among the rubble here. The attack happened at about 2 a.m. Now, this is supposed to be a ceasefire, but it looks more like all-out war. And what happens next? Is there worse to come on both sides? Standing here now in the rubble, is the ceasefire dead?
And actually, it's hard to assess the situation. Therefore, currently we are considering the situation. If Armenia continues to attack Azerbaijani civilians, then Azerbaijan will be obliged to take necessary measures against the legitimate military targets.
You are saying that they have fired at you, and you're also saying that you reserve the right to retaliate. So which is it? Are you sticking to the ceasefire, or are you going to retaliate for this attack?
At this stage, we are trying to stick to the ceasefire regime. But of course, if they continue to do so, attacking Azerbaijani civilians, as every nation, we also have a right for self-defense.
As Azerbaijan recovered more of its dead, it too was accused of breaching the ceasefire by shelling civilians on the other side. Though the truce looked shattered today, it did not collapse, but Ganja was hit hard. Noshaba's grandchildren were asleep in these beds and were lucky to survive, but she acknowledges the pain in Nagorno-Karabakh. We are all mothers, Nushaba told me, there and here, and our hearts are aching. Orla Girin, BBC News, Ganja, Azerbaijan.
Azerbaijan and Armenia have accused each other of violating a Russian-brokered ceasefire just hours after it came into force. Officials in Azerbaijan say 9 people were killed and 30 others injured by missiles fired at Ganja, the country's second biggest city. But this has been denied by Armenian officials in the Nagorno-Karabakh region, who instead claim that Azerbaijan has shelled the region's capital.